Hello, and welcome to the Freddy Fazbear's YouTube experience. This featured video will dive deep into the brand new game, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, and will dive into spoilers along the way. If you wish not to learn any of the secrets or lore contained within the series, please click away. If you have decided to stay, welcome. We hope you enjoy your time with the Freddy Fazbear's YouTube experience. Enjoy.
We're back. We're back. I'm an OG. Yeah, just to give a bit of context before I officially start the video. I have been with the Five Nights at Freddy's community ever since PewDiePie first uploaded his video. I know that's probably like late, but it was like, I think early August when I got exposed to the first game. Remember, it was just one game. You know, it snowballed. It went crazy. Learning about source code, bringing up the images of the teasers. Back when everyone was crazy over Purple Guy and Phone Guy. Back when there wasn't a name for William Afton. Everyone just called him Vincent because of a certain artist. And yeah, so seeing where the series has gone is pretty crazy. I was like, I think about to enter middle school or 5th grade when the first game came out, so yeah. Now I'm in college. How did I get here? Alright, let's start with the pros before I get into the cons. It's gonna be long, so let's start off with the pros. Freddy being an animatronic that's on your side the entire part of the game. I love that. I felt like for a while, Freddy has not been getting the same spotlight as the others, like FNAF 1. Everyone was obsessed with Bonnie and Foxy. FNAF 2, Marionette, Toy Chica.
She is such a bad bitch, though. I will fuck the shit out of that.
I think with her Bonnie. FNAF 3, it's all Springtrap. Freddy is just a hallucination. FNAF 4, Fredbear doesn't really count because it's technically not Freddy. Nightmare Freddy. I mean, you got his like 3 children just like twitching on the bed, but that's it. He's barely in the games. And then Sister Location, he's just there on the side. He's like the crazy person in the entire pack. FNAF 6, he's not even in it. Anyways, free roaming. I've always wanted free roaming in the FNAF games since the second one came out, and what really made me think about that was the teaser about the Freddy head, where you see Foxy through the eye holes, and it's like, oh, I was like, either you can run or you can't hide, or it's one of the two. And I thought, oh, that would be so cool if you're able to go from the security office, hide in the suits and parts and service, like what Phone Guy said in FNAF 1. That didn't really happen, but oh well. I know that there's gonna be a lot of people that are like complaining about the glitches, but personally, I ran across the funniest glitches in my run through. But anything past 3 a.m. really pissed me off, but I'll get that later. One glitch that I ran into was Vanny being stuck in the photo booths, like she's skipping, and she's literally clipping through the walls of the photo booth. Another one was that I found annoying, but it was pretty funny, was that I think it was like the second security badge you had to get, and you're doing the classic FNAF gameplay where you close the doors. I got the all clear, and Freddy was like, oh, good way to go, good job, Superstar.
Terrible job, super shit.
Now go to the prize counter. And then somehow the doors open and Roxy got me. I don't know how to, I don't know. But that was just one of the funny glitches that I came through. Another thing was, mentioning about this about the 3 a.m. thing. I believe that the game was strong for those 3 hours of the time passing or whatever. Anything past 3 a.m. Again, that's gonna go in the cons, but everything was flowing perfectly. The tension was up. you know, you're like freaking out, you're trying to figure out how to get out and all that. That was great. I love that. The atmosphere and ambiance really reminded me of like I think Resident Evil 2. I believe that they got inspiration from the Resident Evil 2 remake. A lot of stuff from that remake matches way too perfectly. You know, the police station in Resident Evil, and then the main atrium or the entrance in the Pizzaplex. The fact that there's so many things that are underground, like the Umbrella Corporation being underground the city.
Found you and
the trash compactors, or like the old FNAF 6 location being underneath the Pizzaplex. There's just a lot that lines up. I think the music and ambiance is great. Back to the music. Wow, that was amazing. That first intro scene too, that set up the mood, that was perfect. DJ, I know everyone is obsessing up with DJ Music Man, and I have to say, whoever made the DJ Music Man theme, you deserve a raise, because that really made that level super hard and scary, and stressful. Hiding spots are really cool too, and strategy is used. One that my gripe was that in the previous games, you know, I wish there was a lot of hiding spots that could build up the tension and not just do the usual close the doors or do this task, etc, etc. The strategy thing was around when FNAF 2 came out, with like winding up the music box, mask, lights, doing the whole thing over and over again. That just got boring. I like that you had to think differently with each animatronic. Like with Monty, you can't use the equipment that you got in the previous sections. Like he's immune to the flashlight and the laser, so you got to figure out how to outrun him. Roxy, when she's blind, you got to be super careful. Chica, when she doesn't have her music box or like her voice box, you gotta be really like be alert and hear her footsteps. The stupid security bots, you gotta like either gun it or just be sneaky as possible. I like that. It makes the game refreshing, and it's not, you know, you're not gonna get bored just clicking and scrolling through cameras for like 6 minutes straight. So props to Steelwolf for actually trying to change up the gameplay a bit. Two sections that really scared me the most was the daycare and the DJ Music Man boss fights. When I saw the trailer for, I think when it first showed the daycare, when all the lights are out, I was like, oh, hell no, I don't want to do that. That first trailer when you saw like Moon on like, I don't know, like the vents at the kitchen, I was like, that's gonna be terrifying to fight against. And it was. During my first live stream of the game, I found all 4 generators, but I couldn't, and the entire daycare center was like a maze. I don't know where the 5th one was, and it took me like the next day to find it, but it really stressed me out. I was panicking the whole time. I didn't even know where Moon was, and I paused the game. I'll just play the clip. I'll play the clip and you guys see how scared I was there.
Bro, how do I get to the other side? I'm legitimately terrified. Where the fuck is the other one?
Yeah, I hated that. I hated that so much. And then here's my reaction when Music Man disappeared within the fraction of a second.
What?
That's good. I want more of that in the FNAF, if we're gonna get any more FNAF games in the future. Last pro is that there's a lot of secrets and codes that you have to unlock. This is classic FNAF. I love that. I think that's like one of the things that makes FNAF fun, is theorizing and seeing the clues that the games have left out for you to find out. Unfortunately, the Princess Quest arcade machines weren't working for console players for like 3 weeks. So you couldn't even unlock one of the, I think the 3-star endings where you free Vanny. There's a lot of emails. That I found too. And there was one email that even took a jab at the Chuck E. Cheese recycled pizza conspiracy. And that was funny. I love that. Of course, we can't ignore the whole dialogue of Freddy missing Bonnie, and then the whole mystery of Monty and Bonnie. That just brings me back to when, what was it? What about like, oh, if Jeremy, the security guard in FNAF 2, was the Bite of 87 victim, you know, little hints there, and then the fan base just like completely goes at it. At that point, you have no control. Before we go into the cons, my stance on the whole Bonnie Monty theory. Monty was hacked by Afton. Bonnie was trying to figure out missing children's incident, or like the fact that there's more children being like missing at the Pizzaplex. Afton is of course obsessed with Bonnie, so he needed his parts to come back. That's just my stance. If you said it's not realistic because Bonnie is the most aggressive one, I want you to just double check the Monty golf mini game, Monty throughout the game, and then the emails. Okay, we're not talking about Bonnie. And now, the cons. What is up with the AI in this game? I kid you not. They're like playing 4D chess or something. 1 minute, like, you know, I'm like checking the map and I know that like a security bot is like far from me. Out of nowhere, I get jump scared and then Roxy just teleports to me. What? Not to mention that sometimes if you hide inside of the hiding spots and they see you, they don't check. I have multiple times where Roxy saw me hiding inside of the photo booth and she just stays there for like 2 to 3 minutes sniffing, doesn't even open the curtains, and then just walk away. And then I'm like, you just saw me run inside of the booth and you're not even gonna like peel open a little bit? What? The only time that it worked was when Chica literally saw me hide inside of like the stroller. But other than that, I never had anyone literally open the thing or like open like, let's say, a locker that I was hiding in and jump scare me. The AI in this game, it's just crazy. It's insane. I don't even know how it's that bad. Where the hell is Vanny? I almost forgot she was in this game until like I saw the endings and then I was like, where was she the entire time? I barely even saw her walk. What makes it even worse was that there was a Vanny meter that was put almost throughout the entire development of the game, but it got cut out in the summer of last year. Like 6 to 7 months before the actual release date. What? How do you remove one of the most... How? I'm still baffled by this because a lot of people were like, why couldn't Gregory just hide in the daycare? Sun could have protected him the whole time. Why didn't Gregory hide in Glamrock Freddy's green room? Because there was a Vanny meter. That meter was supposed to go up if you're hiding for one spot for way too long. That was to prevent you from basically camping. And they removed it. What? Also, okay, so back to what I was saying about like, oh, the story was great until 3 a.m. After 3 a.m., you're just doing tasks like it's Genshin Impact. I'm not even joking you. Freddy is just saying, oh, do this, do that, do this, do that. And from 3 to 6 a.m., you're just trying to do quests. It's not even scary if I have to like upgrade Freddy twice and like fight 2 boss or like fight 2 animatronics. Why would I have to do that? And then like, you know, you couldn't do the mazer size puzzle unless you got the key. You couldn't fight against Roxy unless you like fix the head of the, like, what? For example, the whole Roxy boss fight was so underwhelming. So you go into Roxy's Raceway, you find that like the robot head because Gregory is somehow a 12-year-old is still too small to drive a kid's go-kart. Anyways, you get the head, and then Freddy was like, you need to go to DJ's or like the Fazarcade where DJ Music Man is, and there's like a place where you can fix the head. That's across the freaking mall. What? Second of all, why is the head replacement thing all the way on the other side and not in Roxy's Raceway?
Bruh.
Another con. Freddy was like, hey, I marked the spot on the map you can go to. Where? I don't know where. First hour in the game, I was literally running around in the, I think, rocks, I don't know what's the, like, where all the green rooms are for the animatronics, and Freddy was like, oh, if you go to this room you can get a free photo pass. And I ran around that place for 10 minutes looking like an idiot because I didn't even know where I was supposed to go. And what's even funnier, later on, Freddy is like, hey, I marked the spot on the map you can go to. Didn't even work. The game is also very vague too, you know, on the boss fights. And I know that FNAF is infamous for like being vague as possible and you're supposed to figure it out yourself. But the DJ Music Man boss fight, as cool as it is, I died 9 times because I didn't know that the last generator, which is at the long hallway, isn't considered the third slash final generator. So the announcer was like, oh, there's like a switch in the bathrooms, arcade. And, you know, I was like, where the hell am I supposed to go for the switches? It doesn't tell you, it's super vague. And then when you unlock when you switch the last one, it's like, oh yeah, there's a final switch in the other side. Like, I wish I knew that ahead of time because I died multiple times not knowing what to do. All right, this is like a few things that I can't understand. Why can the animatronics teleport? I don't know. What? What? This is giving me the same vibes of like when you look into like the security cameras in the early games and then just see them like you see them standing there and then they're gone. Like if a security bot catches you, like let's say like you're far from Roxy, a security bot catches you, Roxy is somehow behind you. Another thing is that, oh my god, I'll save this for the after the 6 a.m. part. Freddy running to a spot you haven't been to before. You know that feature where like, oh, you can call Freddy, so he runs and stomps his way towards you. It's cute, but it's also terrifying. Anyways, sometimes he'll run to a spot you didn't even go to yet. I don't know, dude. It's just all right. So now we're getting to the point where I'm going to spoil. I already spoiled the ending. Anyways, why can't you save after 6 a.m.? It's so frustrating because for me, I managed to complete the Chica boss fight in one try, and like, you know, the sewer part was similar to the Sun and Moon boss fight. You had to turn on the generators while running away from Chica. You can't because she doesn't have her voice box, so you gotta be really cautious and careful. But because it's after 6 o'clock or 6 a.m., I can't save anything, so I had to be really cautious to like figure everything out. Second of all, there's no like autosave after the boss fight, so meaning if you get killed, you're taken back all the way to the point where Freddy asks if you want to stay or leave. So to give more context, what happened to me was that I completed the Chica boss fight, the one where you gotta do the pizza thing, make the pizza for her in the trash compactor, turn on the generators at the sewer level. Then Freddy was like, way to go, superstar. We need to go to parts and service. So I was like, yeah, I don't know how to get out of here. So I was trying to figure my way out. Somehow, Chica was already in front of me, and I didn't alert any of the security bots. I was running for my life. I already used the phaser blast and the flashlight on her. I was running around in hiding spots. I got jump scared, and I was taken back all the way when Freddy was being Alright, so at this point, we're running through about my problems with the Afton ending. Yeah, the game completely destroys the 6 games finale. Why? Every soul of the original every soul within the animatronics that Afton like stuffed the kids in were freed. Afton is already in hell by Cassidy. He's like doing the ultimate custom night thing. He's burning in hell. You know, Henry and his daughter finally reconnect. Michael can finally rest and, you know that his father's like crimes are gone forever, whatever. All the souls are free, happily ever after. Henry gives that epic like speech about finally like ending everything, and then boom, a hand comes out. Who's that? It's Springtrap. Why is he back? Why is Afton back? Why is he back? We didn't even get time to spend with Vanny, and then out of nowhere, Purple Guy just comes back and just, oh my god, don't even get me started on the blob thing too. How does this even work? What? I don't even know where to begin about the issues with this thing? How do you explain this abomination? It has the FNAF 1 models or animatronics. It has the puppet, which kind of makes sense. The marionette was there when the fire happened in the FNAF 6 location. But how are Bonnie and Chica in? How did they get into this mess? Oh yeah, Circus Baby's like first or like original design. She's in the blob too. What? And is this blob like an amalgamation of all of the souls? I don't even know what. And then the Pizzaplex is like a skyscraper. I think you go down like 5 levels. The original, like the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Simulator, whatever. Mr. Afterman and Blob's house is underneath the Pizzaplex. I don't know how that's even possible. Because from the teasers in the video in the what was it, the Dreadbear DLC, we could see that, you know, the mall is being built properly, like, you know, an actual mall. But how were they able to dig so deep? I don't get it. Why? A lot of cut content too. There's so much cut content. I'm gonna use this for the other videos, but the Vanny meter, Apton's voice lines. Probably the game actually being 5 nights long, as the name suggests, not just one night. That's all I could think of. Yeah. Endings. What are the endings about? What are the point of the endings? Why have the endings be comic book style? Oh wait, cut content. You can tell which scenes were prioritized and then which scenes were cut and then put in a comic book style. No, not to disrespect the artists who put their heart and soul into, you know, the comic book style endings, but the fact that there's, what, 2 endings? I'm trying to think back. Yep, technically 3. Let's just say 3 cutscenes. 3 animated cutscenes, and the rest are comic books. The one where Freddy and Gregory are running away from Afton and the Blob. The one where Freddy and Gregory are just sitting on the hill, similar to like I think FNAF 6 ending where you saw the souls of the 6 children. And then Vanny saying, "Oh, disassemble Freddy." And then the rest are comic books. What? You can imagine everyone's disappointment when they're like, "Oh, it's a comic book ending." Okay. Final verdict. I still like the game. You know, I'm pretty sure that kind of shocked you guys too, considering the fact that I completely just like had more cons than pros with the games, but I still rank this higher than FNAF World's sister location, FNAF 3. It's not the scariest. It's not the most polished. It's not the best lore-driven FNAF game. But I still have fun with it, and you know, TikTok's going crazy with it. And no, if you know how TikTok works, this thing's not gonna die for a while. FNAF, everyone's back in their FNAF phase, and it's so weird too that everyone's getting back to their old faces or playing old games again. And I'm just happy that FNAF has a resurgence. I do want FNAF to go into this direction though, with the first-person roaming. I think that we are gone from the point-and-click type game. We're now in this new era of FNAF. I just hope Steel does some type of like No Man's Sky treatment where they're just giving up updates as they go, fixing the game. I believe they should not give any DLCs out yet. They should just patch everything first. Maybe add some content back because the game is kind of dry after 3 a.m. and the endings are underwhelming. But you know, that's a big demand, adding the cut content into the game. But it's just that this is not a Cyberpunk 2077 type deal. And before I give my final score, remember, Cyberpunk has been hyped about for almost 10 years. It was hyped about before the PS4 came out. There was no development or any news until like 2016, 17, and then more and more like, you know, hyping up, you know, all this great thing is gonna break what makes an RPG game an RPG game, etc., etc. Keanu Reeves is in it. Then the game came out. I know a lot of people are comparing Security Breach to Cyberpunk, but when you compare the two, Cyberpunk is still horrible. All right, I know the game is like pretty like mid right now with the patch it got. But when that game came out, you got people literally clipping through the floors, a lot of assets not loading in, people managing to break, and that's from a AAA developer. Fuel is an indie like developer. This is not a, you know, they're not gonna have the same budget or time or resource as like Project CG Red, or I don't even know, you know, as the studio that made Cyberpunk. Again, I believe that they can do it. They can make a good FNAF game. They can bring the game back to its roots. They could, you know, go back to how the game was. And with that, I give 5 Nights at Freddy's Security Breach a 5 out of 10. I know the score is just shocking, and or probably just you're confused why it's that low, but I still like it. And that's just because I still like it and favor it because it's a new breath of fresh air, new blood for FNAF, and it kind of needs it because this series is almost gonna turn 10 years old. All right, I was about to enter middle school when this game first came out, and now I'm in college. That's a lot of time. If your game is still gonna be point and click, count me out. So yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, 5 out of 10. Definitely needs more polishing, but I will still play this. I will still buy a physical copy. And I do hope get good FNAF content in the future. Okay, bye. They cut you and Bonnie out. Do you see how are you gonna cut my man Foxy out of the game? Are you kidding me, Sewell? Scott. Do you realize how many people are obsessed with Foxy? Me. He's my dude. I've been on the Foxy gang ever since that meme came out in FNAF 1 where he was like, I don't want to say it because it's gonna sound cringy. I'm gonna be a theater kid. Oh my god.